Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another month, another edition here of the Enki Epic Pro Series number 9, a monthly Showmatch series here of all things StarCraft Evolution. I'm of course SIVIP, with him joined by these amazing players and by the ByuN in the chat as well. Welcome, one and all. Oh, shout to Enki, of course, Enki Alexander, Enki Ledmossa, papi. He is the organizer of the Showmatch series. He does alternate between the Enki Epic series and the Enki Pro series. The Pro series is for StarCraft 2, the Epic series is for StarCraft Evolution. Let's go. So we do have an SC Evo show match ready for you, but this time it's even more special than that. It is going to be a show match, a best of 7 between ByuN and Rogue versus Classic and SHIN in a 2v2 format. Oh boy. Again, 2v2 has been relatively prevalent in StarCraft Evolution for a year now, mainly from the CIS region, right? Like Bratok and 3D Clan, like they've been hosting a lot of 2v2 events. It's in more recent times that we've had the SCL doubles tournaments, partnering with Thermal 2v2 circuits, alongside some other show matches as well. So it's great to see a little bit more 2v2 in the SC Evo format, and we're going to jump in. We have our best of 7. Very quickly as well, I believe the initial plan was to actually have a pairing of double Zerg and double Protoss. ByuN is the replacement man. He's the initial plan was to have double Protoss with Hero and Classic versus double Zerg, Rogue, and SHIN. That was the initial plan for the Showmatch series. But once we got the players together, one, Hero was unavailable. He was unavailable, so we did have to bring ByuN on as a replacement. But likewise, both Rogue and SHIN, they attested that double Zerg, and this is true, but double Zerg are quite weak in ZVZ. Sorry, in 2v2. Typically double mirror matchup races are weaker than combination races, and they're like, yo, this is not going to go well if you if you have us play together as double Zerg. So did agree to mix up the teams and to have Classic and SHIN versus ByuN and Rogue instead. Oh, there we go. Here we go. We're going to be jumping into our first series, jumping into our best of 7. Bienvenidos, everyone. Of course, bienvenidos. I do see. So that invited in the chat to Cat as well. Este Warehug. Bienvenidos. Good morning. Good morning. Stream is lagging. Everything looks okay on my end. Let us know if it's lagging for anyone else out there as we jump into our series. Let's go. Game 1 is going to be on Undercurrent. Vámonos. I should have done this earlier. Just to load up the game itself. But hopefully everything is okay. Hopefully. As we're getting to our first series. Once again, typically when it comes to StarCraft Evolution 2v2 formats, it is going to be loser's pick in regards to whether they stick with a certain pairing of races or not. I believe the starting sets, though, is going to be Broodor SE2 versus Broodor and SE2. Then losing race can choose double Broodor, double StarCraft, or a mixture of the two. That's typically the format. I'm assuming that's the case here as well, but we'll find out. We'll find out throughout the course of said broadcast. Otherwise, hope everyone's been doing well for themselves. Again, there's a lot going on currently, especially when it comes to the PTR. We're going to be hosting the first PTR tournament later on tonight. If you recall, I thought it was going to be Monday Night Weekly, but no. The Sparkling Tunica Monday Night Weekly this week was a regular event. We have the Tunica Cup this evening, which is going to be on the PTR, so do look forward to that. I believe Stegosaurus Cup is also going to be on the PTR, and Kung Fu Cup is also going to be on the PTR as well. So the PTR tournaments are on the horizon, and I believe next week Monday Night Weekly is also going to be in the PTR as well. So a bunch of PTR events are coming. We'll be the first Open Cup PTR this evening. Oh boy, it's going to be a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. As always, as always. All the StarCraft. Likewise, depending on how fast or how short this broadcast is, we might end up having a bit of a almost had a bit of a show match. We'll have a final kind of rebroadcast of the GSL group stage, just because I believe the tail end of that broadcast of Zao versus Rogue was not actually broadcasted over the weekend. The power cut out, so the end of the stream was cut out as a result of that, so we didn't get to experience that. So we'll have to rebroadcast it at some point, and we might rebroadcast it here. We'll see. Yet to determine. So we go. As we are loading into Undercurrent. here we go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Undercurrent, we have the StarCraft 2 Zerg player alongside the Brood Terran. It's the blue team, it is Rogue and ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the, I believe, Brood War Zerg player. Yeah, okay, we have the Brood War Zerg player. We have the SC2 Protoss, it is Classic and SHIN. Let's go. Let us go. And once again, welcome to our best of 7 show match here between these two teams. Once again, as we mentioned, coming into game 2, we'll get a better idea as to what the format is going to be. But typically, we have been seeing the format of losers pick, whether they do stick with the pairing that they have, or double SC2 or double Brood War. We'll see. For the time being, though, we are going to be moving out across the map. Welcome to Undercurrent. Undercurrent is a interesting map in the map pool. Has a shared main base, has a pocket expansion behind this, has a relatively shared natural as well. Both bases here, they do share this plane of elevation. We can wall off this narrow choke point and secure the northern entrance instead. We'll see how our players do expand. So far, both ByuN and Rogue going to be expanding forward. No one has taken the pocket base yet. Yeah, not yet here. Okay, when it comes to 2v2s, ByuN has gotten a lot more experience as of late. Same with players like Classic and SHIN. Classic's been playing a lot with Hero Marine, with Big Gabe, and they've had a lot of success together. Likewise, SHIN has been playing with players like Hero, players like ByuN. ByuN likewise playing with everyone as well, including even at times Lambo as a pairing and as a duo. But I feel like the most common teammate with ByuN is Solar. They've been playing quite a lot of 2v2 together as well. But yeah, just in general, we're seeing a lot of 2v2, a lot of StarCraft amongst all of our players here. It's been great to see, and we do have a 3x follow-up out of ByuN. Okay, so we have CC first into 3x follow-up. It is going to be a stim timing out of our Terran player. Meanwhile, hatch gas pool out of Rogue. Everything is looking standard. Likewise, we do have a hatch gas pool into a faster third base from SHIN, as SHIN is going for the pocket expansion. And we do see Classic going for just a gate expand into Cybercore. Everything so far looking normal, looking as it should, except for the fact that ByuN is doubling down and going into an earlier stim timing. Meanwhile, ooh, hello, Rogue. Do you see what I see? I see Evo chamber on the way. I see no Ling speed, by the way. I'm curious to see if the plan is to go into +1 melee first, into Ling speed, into a Ling flood. Yep, there it is. I was curious. I was like, yo, we have the gas for it. What is going on with that Ling speed? So he does skip Ling speed for now, going into +1 melee, then into Ling speed. This means that these two upgrades are going to be lined up, and this will be for an all-in. So it looks like Rogue is going for a Ling flood. ByuN, of course, is going to be hitting with a stim timing. We're going to be hitting a very, very strong timing here, basically an all-in, and we'll see if both Classic and SHIN can figure out what's going on. We have a safety creep colony on the way. Lair is almost done, which means we can try to tech up into something greater here. Into a Spire. Yep, there it is. Spire is on the way. Remember that the Hydras are on hatch tech, not on Lair tech. So Lair did screen Spire. And as we are mid-transition and mid-taking up in towards the mutas, SHIN will have very little to defend. I'll have very little. You can see, oh, ByuN is gearing up. And it does try to scout. Is a Stargate follow-up? Oh, I mean, the Oracles will help immensely against the Mass Ling Flood, against the Bane Bust that's coming his way, but the Marines, they should be able to zone, and again, Oracles, they're limited by their energy. If the Oracles, if they run out, if they get focused down, I mean, Classic doesn't really have much to support SHIN. SHIN's going to be on his own. And coming into this, I would say that both SHIN and Classic are very vulnerable. The Oracle has potential, of course. Oh, we're sorry about this. Yeah, the Oracle goes down. The Oracle goes down, and now it's go time. Now it's go time. You can see here nothing but Lings are on the way for Rogue. The Ling flood is upon us. We're flooding across the map. Marines are rushing across the map as well. Y'all, look at them go. And there's going to be Banelings alongside this. Remember, no Banes for SHIN. It's going to be purely Ling into Muta. We have 2 sunken colonies that will help. We have 7 Mutas now in production, but Marines, they shoot up. Ooh, nice stasis. Very nice. Stasis trap goes off, creating a very narrow choke point. At the same time, the Ling counterattack is deflected. Marines are amassing. And it can be on breakthrough. Here come the Banelings. Ooh, baits out the stasis. Nicely done. Rogue does bait. Mutas have arrived. And remember, there's no drones behind this. Like, there's no saturation. The game has to end here and now. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for SHIN, the better it is for Classic. Oh. What's the matter, right? So it's for 1, 2, 3 Marines. 3 Marines go down. Rogue is still massing up nothing but Ling Bane. ByuN behind this is quote-unquote transitioning, is getting into +1, getting to his factory. Is teching, but there's no third CC behind this. Oh, not again. Oh, you noticed it? Yeah, Rogue does know. I'm trying to show you rescanned, of course. Yeah, the armor collapses in. Lings are coming for this round. Not bad. Yeah, locks down Classic's army. And Classic will lose everything. Yeah, the entire gateway army goes out. Bailings, they smash into the colonies. Massive pickups. Lings, oh, where are we going? And we're heading into the mineral line. Catching up more drones, and with that, I believe we have done it here. The mutas, they cannot fight, not head on. That's every muta going down. There's one mutalist left. Lings, they head for the wall. And in the end, both Classic and SHIN were just too greedy. Here. I did mention that rushing into mutas was very risky. Likewise, the Stargate follow-up here from Classic. Gonna have a hard time supporting SHIN with so little to defend. And with that, the main base has been broken. Lings, they bust on in, and GG gets called. With that, ByuN and Rogue take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. They will take a lead in the series. Again, a very intense back and forth here. We did have both ByuN and Rogue going for a big 2-base all-in. No drones at the third base, no third base at all for ByuN, of course. And again, both Classic and SHIN, mainly SHIN was cutting corners, right? SHIN, he had nothing to defend. SHIN had 2 sunken colonies, a handful of Lings, whereas he was trying to rush into mutas, which again are amazing to harass, but not amazing to actually have a main head-on fight. With that, SHIN was overwhelmed. Likewise, Classic also had limited units to work with, as he had no Twilight Council or Twilight Council upgrade, so he was stuck with mainly the Oracles, a handful of vanilla units, and GG all played. They were overwhelmed. With that, we have a lead in the series for ByuN and Rogue, and now we're going to be loading into game numero 2. Let's go. Getting into game 2. So you're loading into Yellow Jackets, and it looks like we do have the format of just ensuring that we have a duo pairing here, which I do actually like a lot more than the SEL doubles tournament. The doubles tournament allowed for double SC2 and double Brood War. Here we're sticking with a mixture of the two, which I appreciate that much more. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Yellow Jackets, we have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg player himself. We have the StarCraft 2 Zerg. It is Rogue. Alongside his teammates, alongside the Teal Terran player for Shopify, it is ByuN. We have ByuN and Rogue. And in the top right-hand corner, we have our opponents. We have the Brood War, the Brood War Protoss player. We have the SC2 Zerg. It is SHIN and Classic. Let's go. Let us go. So once again, we have the same pairing. Once again, we have we almost have the same races here. Both ByuN and ByuN and Rogue, they're going to be staying as what they were previously. So Rogue is SC2. Rogue has very little experience when it comes to StarCraft Evolution. ByuN, he's going to tank the Brood War slot, the SC Evo slots with Brood War Terran. Meanwhile, SHIN is still going to be switching these up himself. So I was going to say he's still like SC2 Zerg, but no, that's not the case. Game 1 was Brood War Zerg, so this time it's going to be Classic playing Brood War Protoss. So the opposing team has flipped races. Let's go. It's going to be a gate expand here out of Classic. Likewise, once again, we're expecting another 3x sim timing here by ByuN. Whether this leads into another all-in, yet to be determined. So building up towards our sim timing. We'll keep an eye once again on Rogue to see if he just goes to the same building, goes for another fast Evo chamber. As you mentioned, a fast Evo chamber screens slots on melee into a link flood into an all-in. It's commonly done in 1v1 and we saw it in 2v2. Oh, hello. Classic going for a much earlier forge. Okay. It does go for a gate expand into cybercore, into a forge, into facility, into, I would imagine, working towards a shuttle and towards Reapers eventually. But the earlier forge, of course, does mean defensive cannons. There's the bay. Again, working on the shuttle, working on the Reaver. So shuttle drop opener here by Classic, very common. And we have a relatively safe Baneliness here. That's a Baneliness after the third base from Rogue, so everything's kind of looking as it should be. Gonna be Ling Bane here out of Rogue. Very little getting caught out. And we kind of get to determine the direction for SHIN here. SHIN, he is still in gas. Huh. Often we pull out. So the fact that we're still in gas here could be for fast lair. Could be fast 2-base lair. We could be seeing an earlier Roach Horn as well. But I feel like if we were seeing a Roach Horn, it would already be thrown down by now. So that's what you got. Again, that is a lot of gas. There's Gravitic Drive, working on shuttle speed. Reavers are on the way. With a faster lair out of Rogue. And that's a Baneliness and Neva Chamber out of SHIN. Okay, still on their tech. Huh. Oh, right. It's SE2. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, still on their tech here. Meanwhile, Lisa can move this around. Ooh, massive cash. He does get one. Does get 2 queens. Ooh, just one. Just one queen goes out. Massive Reaver shot goes off in the Marines. And with that, both SHIN and Classic are holding. They're holding, they're defending. Did affect the first wave. Behind this, Rogue is droning. It's droning or not be saturating. Now it's time to move out with the Reaver drops. And behind this, we're going into Citadel of Adun or working towards Zealot legs. Okay. So we're going for that charge transition, that Zealot transition. Ooh. Reaver shot goes up. We're reaching the 4-minute 30 mark, and this is where I'm a little bit more concerned here. I don't know if you noticed, but I mentioned earlier, like, oh, there's no lair yet. That's pretty normal. That's pretty standard. We have Baneliness, we have an Eva Chamber +1 melee, but still no lair out of SHIN. And we're reaching the 5-minute mark at this point. Meanwhile, we have lair into Spire out of Rogue, going into Mutaplay. Not rushing as quickly as SHIN did last time, but is heading in that direction nonetheless. Moves in. Distracting Rogue. SHIN now starts up his own lair. It's very late, but it's on the way. Jeez, that was 8 drones. 8 drones go down, and Reaver shots here towards the queens, so not bad. Nice moves here by Classic. Oh, we go all the way. Oh my god, the tracking. That's crazy. Scarab shots going up, keeping both a Rogue and ByuN busy. Shuttle's getting quite low, but the mutas are coming. Yeah, mutalists are on the horizon. Oh, well, ByuN is making that switch into mech. Okay. We had the initial 3-axe sim timing in towards Double Factory, in towards eventually Ion Thrusters, yep, and making that full mech switch. So mech transition out of ByuN. Oof. Catching a handful of units here. The shuttle gets quite low. And nice pickup, catching another tank, okay. I believe that's 2. Yeah, 2 tanks going down. Getting another tank. 3 tank kills already. Classic. Same time baiting out some of those banelings. Let's bait out some banes. SHIN still on Ling Bane, still just on Ling Bane. Still curious what the tech is going to be here. As mutas are revealed. Mutas reveal themselves. They gain map control. Behind this, Storm is on the way for a classic, getting to his own charge. Okay, we army into Storm. But it even gets out executed. Ooh, as Rogue does find a way in. He finds a way in, catching out one, catching out almost two queens. There was a transfuse. So for the one queen, there's Infestation Bits into Infestors, into what should be Hive Tech, into Hive Tech Ultras. It is going to go down. That will delay the Hive. Oof. Yeah, so SHIN is stuck on their tech. Behind this, ByuN has been building up. And now ByuN's build-up has been delayed. If you remember, ByuN did lose 3 tanks in the lead-up to this due to the Reaver harass. ByuN is heavily delayed. Still building up. Get some decent fungals, but there's no follow-up. Yeah, no follow-up here. It's a waste of fungals. There's one fungal left. Some units are getting out of hand. At the same time, Lings, they come in for a counterattack. But there are defenses back at home. Not many, though. Not many. Their spider mines are set up. Yeah, but the vultures do defend. And they hold on. The vultures are gaining map control. Nice sniper on the Reaver. Reaver goes down. He just once again threatening the dive. I don't really see Classic being able to push across the map. Not with this army, not yet. And he's transitioning in towards Skytoss. I love this. He's working on that Skytoss transition. Moving out here would be very risky, considering how much there is on the map. And he turns around. Yeah, he does pull away. Rogue does get across the map. And once again distracting, denying another expansion, keeping the army busy, and we're just slowly building up. Back at home, we're just building up more and more tanks. Only harassing with mutas, with lings, and with vultures. So both ByuN and Rogue are kind of quote-unquote perfecting their armies. Hive is now done. Now I assume this is going to be for Ultra Tech, but no, we're getting to Hive into Viper into Ling Bane Hydra actually. Okay. There's Hydra upgrades. That will struggle against mech for sure. Struggle. There's a pick in once again. Looks like the Stargates are not for any kind of sky toss, but for Corsairs. Nice Parabomb, very nice. Oof. Storm the mutas. Does soften them up. Major pickups. And I'm still not entirely convinced we can break this siege line. It all comes down to the Vipers, right? The Vipers, can they land their blinding clouds? How well the Storm is going to land. Do we go for the dive? Not quite. Yeah, not quite here. Ooh, brutal storms. Yeah, a lot of mutas going down. And behind this, we are building up a Ling Bane army. Top left is going to fall. Some brutal pickups. Takes down the expansion. 14 drone kills as well. Not insignificant. And ByuN, he's actually getting up the ramp. Yeah, what used to be just a halfway mark here, now we're pushing further in. ByuN, the tanks are encroaching. And we're attempting this around. Attempting. High Templar, they're going to be targeted, forcing the Storm of the Dragoons. It does force out all the storms. Now there are 0 storms left. At the same time, we get some nice lightning clouds, but the lightning clouds are running out. They're running out. There's still plenty of tanks behind this. Tanks, they need support though. They need support. The tanks. Yeah, tanks are barely going down here, and with that, both Classic and Shin, they're holding. They're holding on. Oof. I say that we have more link reinforcements on the way. That's Fungal. Oof. Fungals, they do connect. The chain Fungals. Shin is holding. Shin is barely holding on. And now working towards Microbial Shroud. There's that Ultra Cavern. We were waiting for it, but instead of Mass Muta, now it's going to be Ultras. The Ultras are coming. And these Corsairs, I don't really think they really came into play here. Building up the Corsair counts, which this one isn't going to be as useful. I mean, Disruption Webs, true. Will help. Oof. Yes, Baneless to make it through. Get some decent connections. Line is still building up. Irradiate's on the way. Likewise, ByuN to get the rest of his upgrades. Building science vessels. Oh, they tank the mainlings. Alright, they tank. Once again, the siege land has arrived. We're back. ByuN has returned. Storms from the mutas. Once again, remember, the muta count is not getting any larger. Ultras are coming. Just trying to bait out all the storms. Does focus on the Reaver, just barely. Sounds like coming from behind. And they're trying to come in from behind here, but we're catching at the Reaver. Ooh. Yeah, the Reaver. Reaver goes down. Decent bailing shots. The base falls, and we're just waiting for the Ultras. I'm waiting for the Ultras here. They're coming. The Ultras. I was meant to be a Panther. There we go. The Ultras are coming. And with that ByuN and Rogue, they are overwhelming. Yeah, GG, GG. No, we don't get to see the Ultras. GG, GG, what gets called. Before they even arrive, without even being a part of the fight here, the forward bases are broken. And with that, ByuN and Rogue take game number 2. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Once again, a very oppressive style here from ByuN and Rogue. ByuN switching from his initial 3x sim timing into mass mech, into a massive siege line. There were a couple of moments here for Classic, where Classic was able to drop, harass across the map, and catch out 3 tanks. It was a very, very nice amount of damage. But alas, we needed more than just that. We needed some kind of map control or denial of economy. We saw that both ByuN and Rogue were very, very comfortable to take more bases, more expansions, to build off their own economies, you know, to cut the map in half, and there wasn't really much contention for that. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game 3, and we'll see who takes the lead in this series even further here. So far, ByuN and Rogue go up 2-0. I'm hoping that it's not one-sided, hoping that we get it back and forth, but the pressure is on. Let's go. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Rust Buckets, we have the now it's the still SC2 Zerg, the SC2 Zerg player here. We have the blue Zerg alongside the Broodor Terran. It is ByuN and Rogue. They're currently up at 2-0 in the series, and spawning in the top left hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the SC2 Zerg player, we have the Broodor Protoss. It is Classic and SHIN. here we go. We're settling into our third game here, and again we're hoping for a back and forth, but the pressure is very much so on Shin and a Classic. Sorry, on Shin and Classic. Shin and Classic individually are very strong players here, but they have been struggling so far to maintain map control, to fight for map control even as well, to be the aggressors. Hasn't really been the case here. We'll see if they do shift gears somewhat. As for now, we are just going to be building up back at home. We're calming down. Calming down. As welcome to Rust Bucket. Rust Bucket has a unique kind of layout here. We have separated and isolated main bases. That is true. So we have our main base here for Rogue. We have our main base up top for ByuN, so separated bases. But we do have a shared low ground natural expansion set up. Likewise, Rogue also has a pocket base as well. So we have a pocket expansion for one player, not quite for the other. So Rogue will have that benefit. On the flip side, likewise, Shin, the two Zergs, Shin also has that benefit as well of having that pocket expansion. Meanwhile, for the first time this series, not 3-Rex Marine, not the same timing, just going straight Rex in the factory into what looks to be, double factory mass vulture. So this is going to be double factory vulture opener, as an opener here for ByuN to build up his vultures, spider mines, island thrusters, and to gain map control. At the same time, we do have a Stargate opener out of Classic. Interesting. Stargate openers are very niche. They've been making a bit of a resurgence in StarCraft Evolution, especially with the scout being buffed and nerfed and changed and flipped around, and it's just the scout has been adjusted heavily over the past 6 months, over the past year of play even, and it is going to be that initial Stargate into scout open. Let's go. We got a second Stargate on the way, so double Stargate. Airglow scout is denied. Rogue is going to be in the dark. Oh, that is a new visual. I noticed that in the last game actually. For those who are curious, like, there have been a couple of updates recently to the game. It looks like we do have a new upgrade visual asset here for Spider-Man. Interesting. Did notice it in the last game, and I was curious as to what it was, just because I hadn't seen that icon before. Meanwhile, it is going to be double factory, double vulture production in towards Wraith play, actually. That's interesting. So Wraith's also on the horizon behind this as well. We're droning, saturating faster layers on the way. Rogue, he may opt to go into mutas again. We'll see how that compares against Mass Scout. Likewise, Shin also going for a faster layer. Wait, what? So I just assumed that the pocket base, because it was next to the expansion of Shin, would be Shin's, but no, we have Classic being very greedy, rushing into a third. Okay. Rushing into his third base. Overlord Scout does confirm the mass scouts. Does confirm. It's fully aware. I mean, the scouts, they already reveal themselves. Limited anti-air. Goliath production has begun. So found nothing major, just getting 1, 2, 3 CVs into 9 mining the natural, not bad. And not bad damage. There is that Spire for Rogue. Now we see why there was a fast layer. I mean, we did call Spire play. Going to mass muta again. Oof. Jesus. Well, I'd say hold their own. Ooh, Scout goes down. Down to 1. The other two, they rally in. Yeah, this holding. Yeah, this holding on. We have the fleet beacon on the way, so it looks like mass scout into mass carrier. Overseer will confirm. Confirm what's going on. I'm curious if we still come into mass muta, if we do make the switch into, say, mass corruptor. She's just now claiming his own third. Very late third base. But we are going into what, two base hive? okay. 2 base hive out of Shin, and I would imagine we're going to be rushing into Ultra Tech here. I would imagine that's the plan. Very unique build here by Shin, as he is lacking in economy. Scan into the natural, does not reveal what's going on. Scan into the main, does reveal the hive. Screams ultras. Basically, both Classic and Shin are being hyper greedy. We have Shin going 2 base ultra, we have Classic rushing into carrier. To mass carrier. So at this point, ByuN and Rogue have to make a decision here. They know exactly what's going on. They scouted both players and both opponents, and now we have to make the decision. Do we mass expand and try to meet them in a longer game, or do we try to all in? With the RB being active, looks like we do want to be aggressive here, but we'll see. Hive begins, throws down the wall of spine crawlers. Rogue, he's getting ready for a longer game. It's going to be difficult. I do give the advantage to Shin and Classic, just because they're just cutting so many corners. Hydrogen? Oh wait, okay, that's from Rogue. I was about to say. Hydrogen, second Spires on the way for double upgrades. True. But yeah, we're taking it slow. We're taking it very, very slow here. Corruptors are massing. That would be ideal against the mass carrier. ByuN is being somewhat active here. Somewhat. But just hoping to catch any stray units. A little bit surprised, but they're getting away with it. Now, there is something interesting here on the way for Shin. I assumed it was going to be Ultras, if you recall, otherwise why rush Hive? But no, it's going to be a couple of Vipers, then into his own Spire. So technically, Shin can start working towards Broodlord Infestor already. Things they flood into the bases. Oh, my apologies. Attempt to flood into the bases. Radiates on the way, that will help. Still going Mass Goliath. I mean, this is going to be a good read. I was a little bit concerned here that we're going to be seeing something different out of Shin, but no, due to the fact that it is going to be Spire Tech and not Ultras, Goliaths, they can hold their own. We can go full Spirit back. So we have our Mass Goliath. There are going to be Lurkers on the way as well for Rogue. Switching to Lurker Tech. Bold move. Just secure the map. No Spider-Man's fall back to. Ooh! Yeah, Vulture's getting caught. Things say, they nibble away at the Infestors, nothing major. We're almost maxed. Can't see though. Carriers are revealed. Goliaths, they move in. Nice power bomb. Very nice power bomb, actually. Yeah, and carriers are going to be going down. Gets one, gets two. Classic is on his own, and carriers are falling one after the other. Heavy losses for Classic. Does that a power bomb? Corruptors are still stacking. Jesus. It does choose to stack. We'll lose almost every Corruptor. That was messy here from Rogue. Very messy. He's switching. I'm not too sure if I'm fond of this, but he's switching into more Hydra heavy instead. Typically, it's a little bit weird to have Hydras alongside a ground army, so it's going to be Mass Hydra alongside Mass Goliath. They potentially can get in each other's way. Sure. Workers will help. Ooh. Just dragging the army to the minefield. Or just trading even better. Crazy trades. And here we go. Rogue is maxed. Rogue, he's maxed out. Classic, he's out of position. He's here on the south side. So once again, it's going to be purely SHIN on his own. SHIN is on his own. Solito, papi, solito. Fireballs on overseers. Lurkers getting in position. And we're getting bases. At this point, yeah, top right is going to be going down, just isolated from the rest. Classic is coming, slowly. It's coming over. This carries in storm. ByuN was distracted. ByuN is scanning, looking for the army. He does find Classic. Fungus going to be landing. And sure, there are reductions, but a bit of a waste here as there we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh my god, he gets all 3. 3 carriers. The Mass Hydra does it. And Classic is hurting. Yeah, Classic, he just cannot engage. Likewise, SHIN's army is destroyed. SHIN's bases are being destroyed. Classic, he just split up his army. He just got bullied here by the Vipers. He got bullied. And ByuN and Rogue are running away with this. They're running away with this. They break through the economy. 26 drone kills. Yo, no sure this is going to be a 4-0. I mean, ByuN and Rogue, they're on the road here for a 3-0. For a 3-0, just breaking the main armies. Once again, just pulling their opponents apart. Ay. Classics with some Dark Archons, okay. We can Maelstrom, which won't help too much, but it's something. Ah. Now Lurkers are getting ground, we're getting some of the tech. Ultra Cavern will fall. And again, SHIN and Classic cannot keep up. Not like this. As finally ByuN moves in, it feels like ByuN, he's been very reserved with his army, but finally the Mass Goliath pushes forward. The Goliaths are online back. ICP. EMP on the carriers. Ooh, gets 1, gets 2. Gets 3. Carrier's gonna be falling. Reinforcements coming in. And the carriers, they can actually hold their own now that everything's together. This is Classic and SHIN at their best. They've got their main armies. They've got their Death Ball. And they have that Death Ball army. They're trying to break on through. And they will take down all these Goliaths, but not without losses. So I see the losses that Classic cannot afford. More bases going down. Oh my god. They're losing more mineral lines. And with that, there's nothing left. There's nothing left. SHIN, he has no army. He's been broken. He's down to 0 workers. At the same time, Classic also has no economy. Classic does have an army to work with, but... And the Angelas is pushing on through. Ooh, we land some very nice storms, but it does not matter. There's just too much on the ground, and with that, GG gets called. Both ByuN and Rogue will take game number 3. GG. Whew, GG, well played. They extend their lead even further here. They're up 3-0. Remember, this is best of 7, by the way. Best of 7, so first of 4 will win. And the pressure is on. The pressure is on. And we'll see if both Classic and SHIN can do something drastic here to recover in the series. I will say that the scary thing is that this was Classic and SHIN at their best. They got away with their late game, right? We saw that Classic was able to rush into Skytoss and he was able to build up and max out his army. Likewise, SHIN was left alone to go into Fast Hive, but the Fast Hive was confusing to me. Remember, it wasn't Fast Hive into Ultras, it was Fast Hive into Infestor. It was Ling, Bane, Infestor, Viper, sorry, I should say. Like, it was spellcasters more than anything. And it felt, yeah, it was a choice. It was a choice that was made. It was interesting. I didn't really have much of a presence on the map though, and with that, GG well played. With that, we're going to be loading game 4. We're going to be loading into recuperation. Let's go. Let us go. We're loading into the 4th and potentially final game of the series. Again, I hope not, but we'll see, we'll see. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Reclamation, we have the South Korean duo. We have the SE2 Zerg. We have the Brood War Terran. They're up 3-0. It is ByuN and Rogue. And spawning in the upper hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the Teal Protoss, the SE2 Protoss. We have the now Brood War Zerg. It is SHIN and Classic. Classic is like, I'm done. Okay, get me out of this Brood War Protoss. I want to play some SE2. She's like, okay, I got you. We got a plan. I got something cooked up. What do you have for us? As well, in Reclamation has once again separated main bases. The main bases are isolated from each other, which means you can target a player and focus them down. We do have shared natural bases, and that does come into play a little bit later on in said game. So our shared naturals, and we have an accessible natural as well. Defenses can occur here, and we'll see if we have to deal with an all-in or not. I think what's important is that both Rogue and ByuN have showcased some more aggressive styles and otherwise some more passive styles as well. They've had some variety. As this time ByuN is not going for mech, this time is going for once again a 3x stim timing. We saw this earlier in the series. We did not see this last game, so we're going back to basics, back to sim timings. This will force both Rogue and this will force both SHIN and Classic to be ready in time for that stim. And I believe they scout. Yep, they scout. They confirm. They're fully aware as to what's happening. Where's J-Dong when you need him? Oh no. The Dong. Happy the Dong. I've heard that he's playing once again, right? I know that he went back to Brood War post SE2, and then he did his military service, and then he took a break, and then I think he's back, right? It is just military. Oh, interesting. So the first time this series, we have SHIN going for the early Hydra. Okay, so he's going to hashtag Hydras. Meanwhile, the pit is the Twilight Council's on the way here for Classic. Working towards either Blink or Charge. It is going to be Blink. So these are like relatively standard openers here from our duo. Meanwhile, we have Rogue and ByuN gearing up towards no early stim rush. We had the initial 3 axes, we have stim on the way, but ByuN is slowly building up back at home. Likewise, so is Rogue. Just saturating. So just calming down. Scanner reels blink, scanner reels on the gateways. No Stargate opener this time here by Classic. Oh, okay, and when behind, we're going for the Dark Shrine. Very cheeky maneuver here from Classic, going for the hidden Dark Shrine, rushing into DTs. At the same time, we do have something aggression here, but oh, Marines are in position. ByuN and Rogue, they defend. Bear in mind that, of course, scans and detection is going to be a little bit more limited here from our duo as we just now start the lair. There's on the way for Rogue. Dark Templar, they have potential. Now ByuN does move out. Never mind, just threatens a move out. Does force that Summoning Bane. Speaking of Rogue, he's committing quite hard to this. He's still taking more gases. This tells us that Rogue plans on taking up. Wait, did he cancel? Oh my god, so my apologies. Gases are being taken, that is true. But Rogue, he can't. I swear he was getting a lair earlier, right? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? I thought I saw a lair earlier. This is a very late lair. Rogue, he is going to be committing harder here. Very, very hard into Massling Bane. I don't know what it was, but I could have sworn there was a lair earlier. I'm crazy, man. Meanwhile, we have Ling Hydra out of SHIN. SHIN is committing across the map alongside his teammates, alongside Classic. Yeah, they're moving out. Banelings are amassing. That's a lot of Banelings. Ooh. Yeah, Lings are going for a counterattack. Lings, they hit the third. Ooh, SHIN turns around. He's a oh good. Leaving Classic with the Hydras. SHIN racing back home. And he won't actually lose too much here, thankfully. But he doesn't have any drones to begin with. Oh my god. Yeah, SHIN was that much more committed. Barely had any workers. Classic races back home, so does SHIN. Massive delay. SHIN, he has 26. He has 26. Like, he does not have an economy at all. He's completely all in. Completely. Like, even before any workers were going down here, just barely any saturation. DTs have arrived, and they are wreaking havoc. 5 drones in the main. But the economy is still in favor of ByuN and Rogue. Still very much so in favor. Oh, nice round. ByuN gets caught. Yeah, massive catch. ByuN gets surrounded. Worst fight that ByuN could hope for here, and the best fight for the opposing team. And with that, ByuN has nothing. ByuN has nothing left. Now it's going to be pure. It's just basically a pure Rogue defense. ByuN had all those Marines he could hold on here, but a massive blunder from ByuN. Banelings making their way towards the Hydras. They try to turn away. Stalkers are holding their own. Again, a very messy defense. And again, if ByuN was just waiting here on the high ground, they just hold it. They defend. They defend without any issue, to be honest. They would have been perfectly fine. But a massive blunder from ByuN, and that might have just cost them the game. That might just be it. That might be too much. As ByuN is down to 3 Marines. It's still very close. That's it, though. Just trying to buy barely a little bit more time. Nice focus firing here by ByuN. Takes down 4 more Stalkers. Whew. And ByuN holds. ByuN barely does hold on. Meanwhile, behind this, how many drones? 39. So it looks like SHIN has droned up a little bit. He's done a little bit of droning, a little bit of saturation. By calming down, we have Lurker Tech on the way. But again, ByuN and Rogue, they should be in a better position here, but they're not. ByuN not throwing down more production. The pressure's on, and he will force a cancel. Did cost him a lot of Zerglings, but Rogue is going to do something to allow them to recover in this game. Otherwise, Classic is going to get a hand. Classic is the third base, has high yield gases as well. Classic is miles ahead of anyone else in this game. And this is the beginning of the comeback. True. The beginning of the comeback for Classic and SHIN. Again, Classic, he's with the best economy here in the game. He's on full 3-base saturation, soon to be a 4-base saturation as well. And together, ByuN and SHIN, they might be able to take the Classic. It comes down to the engage, right? It comes down to the siege line. It comes down to the setup. First starport is on the way here for ByuN. No, we just keep taking. SHIN going for the Queen's Nest. Opening up Hive Tech. From here, I'm curious to see if we head into Lurkers or if we work towards Hive into Ultras. But now Lurkers have arrived, they will deny this expansion. Even catching a tank. Yeah, nice storms coming in from behind. Yeah, we just grabbed some of the army, and with that, we're looking to make a series out of this. Massive storms. Classic, he breaks the low grounds. At the same time, very nice thing run by here by Rogue. He does distract, he does catch reinforcements. But Rogue is the issue, sorry, Classic is the issue, not SHIN. Okay. Need to play Classic. And now missile gaining ground. Still not gaining ground as Classic does turn back around. Does turn back. Pulls away. Again, Rogue and ByuN, they're still struggling to recover. So is SHIN, to be fair. Like, SHIN has also been struggling as well, but that's why we try to point out that it's Classic that's kind of snowballing out of control. Classic is building up more Archons, more Immortals, more Storm, more High Templar. Like, Classic who has the death blow of an army. Classic who can almost 1v2. Solito. Lurkers are moving in. Here come the Archons, here come the Storm. And the tanks are on their own. Ooh, tanks are exposed. Massive pick up here. 3 tanks go down. Mineral line as well. Rogue tries to go for the run by. ByuN having more success here. We'll try to battle weapon, but there are defensive DTs. Messages around. Oof. And didn't even need to. Did not even need to. Shield's fine, Bappy. I said it before, and even combined, I don't think that ByuN and Rogue can defeat Classic. Not like this. Maybe with some EMPs. Potentially. As Lings, they try to run by. Oof. Yeah, Storm does shut them all down. Once again, Rogue just cannot expand. They've been contained for minutes at this point. Cannot expand. This is it. Classic has arrived. Classic diving in. EMPs the Archons, massive storms on the fire, tanks are exposed. This is a decent tank line, but again, ByuN is on his own. He's trying to hold on, cutting the army back, massive tank shots. Oof. Barely does hold on. An impressive defense. I mean, especially considering that Rogue was a non-factor. Like, Rogue is like running for his life. Rogue is doing what he can. And here comes a counterattack. This is it. This is it. Tanks have potential. Lurkers moving in as well for Rogue. One good fight is all they have in him. Their moments. Things here Haramai. They try to go for a counter attack, they will cause a distraction. Oh, Ling's getting called out. At the same time, yeah, Shin going for the same thing, the same move. Goes for a massive counter attack and he will break Rogue. Rogue has nothing to defend. Oh, ByuN turns around. Again, he needs to. Now, I would be concerned for Rogue and ByuN if this is the moment that Classic pushes, and he's thinking about it. They both are. Remember, reinforcements are delayed. Oh. It's a storm. Mass microbial shroud, and with that we just collapse on the army, collapse on lurkers, collapse on the tanks as well. It all just gets swallowed up. With that, Rogue plummets in supply, so does ByuN. And again, this was on ByuN. Like ByuN, he had a massive army to work with, and he got surrounded, he got shut down. Jesus, even without microbial shots here, this is still quite close. A close hold. Classic, that's ByuN and Rogue, they barely do hold their own. Barely holding onto the main army. But they should be involved. They should be. I don't think there's any detection here. Okay, yeah. Everyone's not moving in. Catching out the lurkers. Rogue down to 50 supply. Down to Again, it's been a little bit messy. There were no Vipers, no Blinding Clouds from SHIN, for example. Said Mass Microbial Shroud instead. So I keep saying Microbial Shroud. Dark Swarm and GG gets called, and with that, Classic and SHIN, they do put a point on the board. GG. GG, well played. Again, winding all the way back, this all came down to around 5 minutes ago when ByuN got caught out on the map. He went for a 3x sim timing, and they were defending. They had the tools to defend, but ByuN, he was waiting and left idle on the low ground. He got surrounded, he got cleaned up, he lost everything, and that made for a very, very shaky defense. And then that was the first domino that fell, everything in favor of Classic and SHIN. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be loading into game number 5. Going to be loading into Rohana. Thankfully, we have a series, we have a back and forth. We'll see if we can keep this going and if both SHIN and Classic gain some momentum here. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Rohana, we have our Brood War Terran. Once again, we have the SS2 Zerg. It is Rogue and ByuN. And spawning in this other hand corner, we have their opponents. We have the Zerg player, the pink Zerg. We have the teal Protoss. It is the SG Protoss. It is the Brood War Zerg player, SHIN and Classic. So it looks like they're having a little bit more success here with Classic, able to spread his wings and embrace that SG Protoss side of him. We'll see if they can make it. Once again, we have isolated main bases. We have a shared but very open natural expansion, very wide open. Likewise, the third bases are very difficult to maintain as well. So your initial 2-base setup is relatively safe, but the third base and fourth base thereafter are very difficult to maintain, and we have seen them punished for it quite a bit in the past. Tend to expand. I will say that these northern bases are a little bit safer for sure, more so than the southern bases. But now we're opening up. Hatch gas pool, standard opening here out of Rogue. Likewise, ByuN going for his own CC first. CC first out of our Terran player. Likewise, Hatch pool by SHIN going for delayed gases. Interesting. So late gas geysers out of our SHIN player. Of our Zerg. Passage just going gate expand. I'm just a little bit under the weather. It's been very, very cold here in Australia these past couple of days. Very cold. So we'll be resting after this and hopefully fully rested up for the Tunic Cup later on tonight. Hopefully. But otherwise, once again, sim timing out of ByuN. So 3x sim timing out of our Terran player. Likewise, oh, Twilight Council opener at a classic. Okay. Does open Twilight Council. I believe last game did go for a blink-based opener into Storm, into Charge. And we'll see if we have the same thing here. There it is. Blink is going to be on the way from the side of Classic. Likewise, we do have SHIN also going to his own faster Hydras. Okay. Again, very similar to last game. Macro hatcheries into 2-base Hydra off of Hatch Tech. Rogue went for a very late lair last game, and we'll see if that trend continues. Early nest. No plus on melee. Shared natural. Wall is getting up and running, so we're just building up into the mid game. So far, at least. Looks like ByuN wants to maybe apply some pressure, but there's not really much to get done. Just moving out, applying pressure. Can maybe get a sentry, maybe. ByuN does move out, does threaten. Once the spine coolers are done though, the sunken colonies, I mean ByuN cannot move in. Cannot move in. This is a big investment here by Rogue. I mean, Rogue can maybe lock down some of these units. Pre-blink. Dire Shrine is on the way once again. Going into DTs. To get a sim. Gets one. Okay, not bad. Gets one. Gets two. Ah, just the one. Just the one. Very nice force fields. ByuN gets baited. And with that, both SHIN and Classic, they defend. They do hold. They do defend. So Rogue, he has a choice to make. He could drone. He's not. He's not droning up. We have 20 lanes in production. That is insane, by the way. That could have been workers here to saturate the third. But Rogue doubles down. Massing on more Zerglings. Once again, hyper aggression out of Rogue, but I'll be honest, it's going to be difficult to find some damage here. Especially with a shared natural. As Rogue is still not droning. He's squeezing out a couple of workers here and there. You can see 2 drones on the production tab. 3 drones even, but again, very late saturation. Ay, ay, ay. And now he's droning after all the Ling Pain. Oof. So now he's droning up. So again, overly safe play here by Rogue. Setting him behind. As easy to hit the field. Yeah, GT in the main base of ByuN. GT here at the natural. ByuN races back home to defend. So far, 6 kills. Okay, 7. Oof. That's, yeah, getting it to 8. Brutal damage. Brutal damage in the main. From here, the best case scenario would have been any kind of early push from SHIN, and then Rogue would be ready to shut it down. They're not going for an earlier push. What do we have? Stim, combat shields, siege mode. That does threaten to move out. At the same time, Link counterattack will get us around here on Rogue's base. Rogue, he barely had any drones to begin with, but the base will go down. And massive pickoff. Rogue is hurting. And now we commit. Yeah, now we're just committing here. What do we have to defend? Lurker tech is on the way, but lurkers are not ready yet. So without lurkers, it's going to be a tough hold. Again, ByuN and Rogue are committed. Links, they do get in. Ooh, very nice. They get into the mineral line. They deny the sunken colonies. This third base is going to be denied. Just a strong follow-up here from Rogue. And we're just going to keep pushing. Pushing into lurkers, but they're not ready. No, the lurkers. Yeah, lurkers are barely not ready in time. Massive Bane rolls in, and we just break through everything. Everything just crumbles. Where were the storms? Where were the time? The storm isn't ready. Yeah, storm isn't ready. Lurkers are denied, and with that, a massive, brutal timing here as Classic was completely out of position. That was SHIN on his own. SHIN, he was by himself. He was on his own. Classic now comes in after the fight ends. And Bandits, they smash into the mineral lines. With that, SHIN has been broken. Losing everything in the bases. Yeah, heavy losses for SHIN. Insane damage. Things are in the middle line as well. And Classic, he abandoned his boy back. Links in, I mean, nice pickups. It does catch 3 tanks. Very nice. Marines, they come in from behind. They try to look down the Templar, and again, SHIN has been crippled. GT's waddling in. Does ByuN notice? He does. He notices. And they've done it. With that, they've done it. Again, a little bit more one-sided of a series. I can even see this being a 4-0. I just realized I didn't have the score on screen, but GG. GG gets called, and Rogue and ByuN will claim the series 4-1. GG. GG, well played. I can see this being a 4-0 if ByuN didn't get surrounded in game number 4, where he got surrounded, he got locked down, and then everything just fell apart. Even here, I was very perplexed just because Rogue was not droning at all. Like, Rogue was, for a very long time, staying on a very low economy. And but I mean, he was building up his Link Bane the entire time. They were that much more committed. Eventually they did move out together, of course, and as we did try to point out, SHIN was on his own on the high ground. Classic, he was trying to flank and trying to catch reinforcements, I think, but he just wasn't in position to defend his teammates and to defend those lurkers. They never really came into play. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations to both ByuN and Rogue for claiming the series. My condolences to Classic and SHIN. Again, 2v2 for SE Evo isn't seen too often here, but it's been having a little bit of an uptick, and I appreciate that Enki was able to bring all these players together for a fun show match. GG, well played. And again, congratulations to both ByuN and Rogue. Congrats. I don't know if there's going to be any future when it comes to StarCraft Evolution doubles tournaments. I know that they were only made just to supplement the thermal 2v2 league, but we'll see. We'll see. I know that Hyper One and the rest of the SE Evo team have had plans with the StarCraft Evolution League and with the ladder invitational as well. There's a lot that has been going on, for sure. For sure. Meanwhile, with that, we just had the one show match here. We are going to be showcasing a bit of a rebroadcast of GSL after this. The reasoning for this is because if you were here for it, the GSL round of 8 group stage, Group B, the very end of that tournament did get cut off here on the channel just because we lost power. So we weren't able to finish the tournament. I believe we were at the very end of Rogue versus Zounds, so I'm probably going to try to show that off once again. I'll try to set that up. But otherwise, that's all we're going to be covering here for the day. A bit of a shorter morning broadcast, which I'm totally okay with. It's been a very intense week, a very, very intense week. If you've been catching up with the Discord or with our streams, you'll know that it was Friday night where we had a bit of a scare and we had a bit of a vet emergency Friday night, and that was right after the podcast. We had the podcast discussing the new PTR patch notes, and then we had to go to the hospital, and that's why we did not cast RSL. The co-stream was on Saturday and Sunday. We were going to cover it, but just because of everything that was going on and because of all the stress and because of all the chaos, in the end we did not cover those broadcasts, unfortunately, so we did miss a couple of casts, but everything's okay. We did leave a bit of an update. Chi-Chi's recovering nicely. She is recovering, so it's all good. And yeah, hopefully we should be able to have a regular scheduled broadcast for the rest of the week. As you can see here, switching on over to the rest of our schedule, this evening we have the Tuna Cup. What is the Tuna Cup? Tuna Cup is our open weekly tournament, and this time it's going to be in the PTR. It's going to be the first open tournament on the PTR. True, we do have that. We do claim that title. Monday Night Weekly last night should have been on the PTR as well. I don't know why it wasn't. So Funada, TKL, Funada Comeback TV, as they did not facilitate for that. But otherwise, tonight is going to be the first open PTR tournament. Then we have Bigger Cup tomorrow morning. That's also going to be on the PTR. We have the Podcast tomorrow evening, Amanthus, What Is You Mondays. You can see here that we have What Is You Monday on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We have been missing out on Wardycast for quite some time. So we're trying to play catch up before the patch goes live. We're going to try to play catch up and kind of get through our backlog of replays. That's the hope. We have the StarCraft Evolution, we have an SCL show match on Saturday evening, and GSL finals are this weekend. True, GSL finals are going to be this weekend. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. You can support us on all the socials. You can follow us. You can support us on Patreon as well. And if you want to support us monetarily in another way, you can do so via our donation link. Again, we do have a bunny vet fund, as these vet visits have been very expensive. They've been very, very expensive, and we've been doing our best. But again, she's recovering, and I'm just gonna check on her right now as well, make sure she's okay. She's been resting a lot, but her appetite is coming back. She's energetic again. For now though, we are going to be heading off, and we'll see you guys next time. Once again, I will show off the rebroadcast of the GSL group stage, just because the tail end of it, just because it got cut out over the weekend due to the power going out, so we'll be showcasing that here and now. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. See you next time. And shout out Enki for hosting the event and for funding the show match. Let's go.
GSL Season 2.
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, we've arrived with the final series of the broadcast, the final series here of the 2026 GSL Season 2 Round of 8 Group B. We just wrapped up with the elimination match, and now we have returned with the decider match. We're here to determine who will be joining Maru, Kira, and Hero in the offline event in the semifinals. Will it be Zaun or will it be Rogue? Will we have one Zerg representative, or is it going to be double Protoss and double Terran? Let's go. We're here to find out here. Again, Zaun versus Rogue is going to be a rematch from earlier in the broadcast. Zaun has already defeated Rogue earlier in their first series. Can he do it again? Can Rogue get his revenge? Let's go. Let's find out. As I'm sure vetoes are underway and we're getting ready for that final best of 3. Let's go. Let us go. Here we have our Protoss player. Here we have Zaun. Again, for onside, he's going to be stepping into the ring. Again, he's already taken down Rogue in this broadcast. But we'll see if he can do it again. Let's go. As we have that rematch available here. Once again, it's going to be up to Rogue to try to end the game early, to be hyper aggressive. It's going to be up to Zaun to keep up, to defend, and to make it into a longer game state. Oh boy. As again, Rogue, he had a big sigh of relief after bringing down SHIN earlier. Can he bring down Zaun? Can he bring down a Protoss? Can he do it? As here we go, vetoes are done. Game 1 is going to be on the Old Republic. Game 2, White Rabbits. And Game 3, 10,000 feet. Whew, interesting. Okay, so Rogue, he does get rid of some of the larger maps. He gets rid of Title Citadel, Winter Madness, and Tourmaline. Interesting veto process. Who got rid of Celestial? Wait, Zaun? Zaun vetoed Celestial towards the end. Interesting. Zaun gets rid of Mothership, Ruby Rock, which makes sense. Gets rid of Celestial. That's an odd veto for me. It's an odd choice, an odd veto. We do get rid of the extreme maps in the end, both Celestial and Tourmaline, but let's go. Let us go. We're jumping into our fresh and final series, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player representing onside. It is Zaun. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the red Zerg. It is a Rogue. Let's go. Let us go. Let's jump on in. We have the final best of 3 before us, the final series of the broadcast of the group stage. Here we go. Now, coming into this, once again, as I was emphasizing previously on these maps like Old Republic, we do expect to see Zaun play a little bit more defensively here, but what is favored on the Old Republic? Aggression, specifically on 3 bases. The 3rd and 4th expansion location on this map are very open, very exposed, and we've seen many a Zerg player break at attempting defensive Protoss at that 4th location. It's very open, it's very exposed, it's very vulnerable, and typically Zerg players are able to gain map control to get their 3, 4, 5 base set up, and of course look to max out and break that center location. We'll see if Zaun can defend, or we'll see if Zaun is taking a different approach. I mean, he could always pull a hero and be the aggressor instead. True. We'll see if he's going to be the aggressor. Meanwhile, hatch pool gas opener. Interesting. A slightly later gas geyser here from Rogue. Interesting opener. As from here, we're joining, we're saturating, we're settling in. We're expecting a Stargate opener at a Zaun into 3rd base, into Twilight Council, into Forge, into Blink. If he does deviate, we will take note of that. So bearing in mind that Zaun, he was showcasing a unique build that was given to him by a Classic previously, where he goes into a delayed Forge, into a heavy Gateway count, into heavy Blink Stalker aggression. I do like the idea of that kind of build here on the Old Republic, but we'll see. Actually, I think that kind of build is better on smaller maps, so I'm thinking of Ruby Rock, Tourmaline, and 10,000 feet. Just because it's very safe. I don't know if we need to be that safe that early on here on the Old Republic. We'll see. We shall see. And for now, we're on patrol. Just keeping tabs on each other, making sure there's no shenanigans early on, like extra gas income. There's a Stargate open out of Zaun. Technically, Zaun can go Void Ray first. He can go Void Ray or Phoenix. It's a little bit rarer to see that. Last time we saw Hero, he was going for non-stop Void Ray openers. That is true, but that's Hero. Standard way to play is to go into the Oracle, and that's what we're expecting out of Zaun. The reason why, the rationale for going for so many Oracle openers is we attempted to lay the 3rd base to buy time for the Adept, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah, there's a cancellation, there's the 3rd. Ideally, Zaun wants to buy time for the Adept, then the Adept can show up and focus on the drone and delay the 3rd, but fails to do so. Now, when it comes to Stargate Oracle play, the reason why it's so common is because the Oracle does everything. The Oracle can defend, can attack, can scout, can harass, can shut down Ling aggression, can secure your expansion as well. It's just a very well-rounded and solid way to open up, to give you momentum and to give you security. As a result, Ling aggression is quite rare in ZVP. There are situations where we can be aggressive, especially if Xiao were to, say, commit with Adepts and lose them across the map. But Xiao does cancel. Cancels the Shade, races back home, the Oracle has arrived. And Xiao is racing back to protect his third. He's racing back with the Adepts. They manage to Shade back home in time. Xian can now expand. Oracle pokes in. It's going to be up to Rogue to minimize losses, and so far he's in position. He will lose maybe one. Nah, not even. Yeah, so far, nice deflection. We have confirmation. Early Eva Chamber. Rogue is going in a +1 melee into what should be Ling Hydra. Now, I say should be Ling Hydra. We have seen Zerclares go Ling into Spire. It's rare to see that, but it's possible. Should be Ling Hydra here out of Rogue. Meanwhile, Overlord moves in. It's going to be an early Twilight Council out of Zaun. Early Council, and just what I see a later Forge. So later Forge. This could lead into Glaives or Blink. Blink is more standard, what is to be expected. Overlord does confirm the early Twilight Council. And I don't see any additional gateways, which is kind of weird. Zaun is banking resources. Yeah, Zaun is banking. Where are the gates? It is going to be Blink. There we go. So delayed gateways here from Zaun. It's a little bit messy. The reason why they were delayed initially is because Zaun was focusing on his Oracle control and his Oracle micro. So those gates are a little bit late. And now getting up to 4 and 6 in total. So building up the 6 gateways into a late Forge. Now, I believe, if I recall correctly, this is the same build that Classic taught him, and we should be seeing a late Forge out of Zaun. Otherwise, this could lead into an 8k3 base all-in. True. In my mind, this should be a late Forge, but eyes are on Zaun. As I mentioned previously, this build that Zaun is going for is ideal if he's up against an all-in, as it's just very safe. Robo's on the way. I don't see a Forge. Huh. Yeah, no Forge is going for the Robo. Zaun will have extra weapons available to be aggressive with Blink, so he should be pushing out soon. Yeah, I mean, there it is, late Forge, yeah. So as we assumed, a late Forge out of Zaun tells us that he's going to be going for upgrades and will eventually expand. Rogue, as we called at the beginning, is going Ling into Muta. It's rarer, but we did see this earlier in the broadcast. That's why we brought it up. We saw it earlier with mixed success. By that, I mean it didn't really work against Zaun. Now Zaun is pushing, and I'm concerned for Rogue. Zaun's being very assertive here, pushing through the center. There are little links to defend. Oh, he commits! No, he does commit. Adept gets surrounded. Nice catch here from Rogue. Oracle's ready to support. Lings they wait for the surround, and the Oracle's are here. Pulsar beams are activated. Despite that, Stalkers, they are going down, getting 1, 2, 3 Stalkers. Heavy losses, and Zaun is going to lose almost everything. This push was not it. Yeah, the Oracles, they weren't able to support correctly. That was probably just because of the Queens. Yeah, messy control out of Zaun. He'll lose far too much, and Rogue is snowballing out of control. Catching out all the Stalkers. Heavy losses for Zaun. What was that? 8 Stalkers falling? Insane damage. And now here come the Mutas. The Mutas are coming. It's not going to be mass Muta. We can see Rogue switching already into Hydras. So technically it was Ling Hydra, but we're getting there in a different way. And without Zaun, he's been knocked to the ground here. He's lost a little momentum. The whole point of his build was to mass up a mass amount of Stalkers to be aggressive and to be active, but he failed to do so. And now Zaun has late upgrades. Now he has a later 4th base. Zaun has no map control. Zaun doesn't have much. Does not have much. We'll be able to defend against the Mutas at least, but Lynx, they do hit the 4th. Oracle's in position. Okay, nice defense so far. Rogue is almost maxed. He wants the Oracles. And he will chase him down. Ooh, yeah, he gets one, he gets two, he should get all three. Ooh, barely one Oracle survives, but in his target firing the other Rogue, he did not focus him down. So some messy control out of Rogue. But as he bleeds out Mutas, he's massing up Hydras. Massing up more Hydralisks. Rotates back around. Hydras are building up, and what do we say at the start of this game? We spoke about how the fourth base on this map is very difficult to defend. Well, it's very common for Zerg players to mass up their armies, to cut workers early, and to commit. Now Rogue, he was able to drone up to 81, so he gets full 4-base saturation. And he's almost maxed. Zan coming to Rogue. Rogue, I'm sure he's satisfied. As Rogue is about to push out anyway. And here comes all the Ling Pain. Rogue is going to commit. Yeah, does commit in. He breaks the expansion. Zan does at least evacuate, so he does lose minimal probes. Did I speak too soon? Bailings, they smash into the Zells. They don't get into the mineral line. But we come in from behind. We got on top of the Colossus. Not the probes. Oh my god. Massive connections. 13 probes go down. And with that, Rogue Zana, he breaks the forward expansion. Breaks the mineral line. And this is the power of the Old Republic. Again, it's so difficult to defend this map. GG gets called, and Rogue, he takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Rogue, he takes the lead in the series. Wanting it back here again, it was just a really rough start for Zan. Zan, remember, he went 6k blink into heavy blink aggression early on, and he just fell on his face. He moved out. He first got surrounded with his adepts. His oracles tried to support, but the queens zoned them away, so there was no oracle support either. Instead, Zan got completely surrounded, lost all of his stalkers, and that was game. That was game then and there. Zani tried to stabilize from there, tried to take his fourth base, but Rogue had so much momentum. He droned up to 81. He maxed out. He went into Mutas. He didn't need to. If he wanted to, he could just go on Lingbane Hydra. Went into Mutas, then into Lingbane Hydra, and broke the fourth base. GG. GG, well played. That leads us into White Rabbit. This is an interesting map in the map pool. So White Rabbit is a large map. True, it's a large map, but the bases are very spread out. They're very spread out here, and we'll see how Zan expands. We'll see how he defends. There is a world where Zan, it all comes down to map vision. It all comes down to map awareness. If you can keep up with the army rotations of your opponent, you should be able to defend. But if you get caught out of position, then I'm going to be favoring Rogue again here. I'm going to be favoring Rogue when it comes to punishing and shutting down some of the fringe expansions. We'll see. We shall see. As we are loading into game number 2. And spawning in the top, in the bottom left-hand corner, here of White Rabbit, we have the blue Protoss player. It is Zan for onside. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. It is Rogue. Here we go. We have our second game here in Rogue. He's one game away from advancing on into the top 4. Again, last season we had SHIN as the Zerg representative. This season, do we have Rogue or do we have Zan force the ace match? Now, personally, especially in White Rabbit, I don't want to see the same build. I'm referring to Zan. I don't want to see 6k blink. Like 6k blink, as I mentioned previously, I feel like it is ideal on smaller maps. I feel like that's where it can really thrive, just because you're expecting aggression out of your opponents. On Old Republic, I mean, we could have seen it work, of course, but the execution was lacking. Like, I guess if we're going to go for 6k blink, we got to lock in. We got to lock in. We have to preserve our units. We have to be careful. We have to be attentive with the oracles, with the adepts, with the push across the map. Otherwise, very quickly, otherwise, very easily, can all just go south. Let's go. Hydra on Zan. So now we are going to be setting up. Going to be settling in. Yes, our initial hatch gas pull, standard open out of Rogue, likewise down, just going for his own gate expand. And gate expand into Cybercore. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. Just calming down. We likewise have our initial Stargate out of Xeon, so Stargate opener, standard, into the Oracle. What we're really looking for here is the timing of the Twilight Council. The timing of the Twilight Council and the timing of the Forge as well. Remember, last game was a very late Forge, intentionally so, in favor of Blink Aggression that fell on its face. This time, what do you have for us? This time, what do you got? Now we do open up. Going to be saturating. When it comes to the map itself, we did mention earlier that the space between the bases is a little bit larger. True. So longer rotations, defensive rotations specifically, depending on how we expand. We have been seeing players favor going for the center expansion because of that, as it is a little bit closer, but it's still very open, still very exposed. It is not an easy map to turtle on. Not easy. Yorko does poke in, gets completely shut down. Thankfully survives, but is zoned away. And there we go, early Twilight Council once again out of Xeon. So far, this Twilight Council timing is the same as last game. Meanwhile, early Evo Chamber, just like last game, into +1 melee. So just like last game, I'll emphasize that this should be for +1 melee into Ling Hydra, but as a caveat, it could also be Ling Muta into Hydra as well, which we saw last game. As Lings, they poke in, they bust into the main base, the wall was wide open, Xeon is late to react, ooh. Yeah, late to react, late to respond, mining is being denied, a rough start for Xeon, ay. Oracle has to race back home. And this isn't killing any probes, but it is still dealing damage. Behind this, we also get a full scout of the main base, confirming the Twilight Council. Where's the Forge? No Forge. It looks like 6K Blink. It looks like 6K Blink Stalker once again. We're waiting for the gateways. Show us the explosion. Depths, they get caught out. Thankfully, Recall will save them all. And you can see he's down banking resources. Where's the gateways? We're expecting 4. We have 1, we have 2. And we're expecting 2 more. Yep, there's a 3rd. Oracle goes down, a shaky start for Xeon here, losing an Oracle. Yep, as you can see, the production tab, 4 gates are on the way. That's 6 gates in total. This is the same build. It's the same build 2 games in a row. It's 6K Blink into Blink Stalker Aggression into a later Forge. Now, technically, this can still lead into a 3-base all-in if we go up to 8 gateways. Oh. Better engage out of Xeon. True. Better engage. This time we can see that Rogue is not going for the Spire. We have a Roach Horn on the way. Actually, technically, this can still go into Mutatech. There's a delayed Forge. Confirms that Xeon is not all in. He's taking his gases, confirming that we're taking him into the Robo. Most likely Robo, but could go into Storm, I suppose. As the Oracle does get a scout off. Spire, yep, there it is. Spire once again. This game is so similar to game 1. It's so similar. The builds themselves, I mean. Oh, but actually Xeon, he's staying home, he's not pushing, and he's going for a fast fleet beacon. Interesting. So unlike last game where we had extra Stalker weapons and a push across the map, Zan is staying home. Now, what I will say here is that I still do favor Rogue in this position. Basically, this means that Zan, he delayed his tech, he delayed his forge, he delayed his +1, he delayed everything in favor of 6 gateways, and he doesn't do anything with it, right? He's not being assertive, he's not being aggressive, he's not being able to defend against anything. So technically, all this tech that we're seeing in the production tab right now could have been thrown down earlier. And it mostly gets countered. Meanwhile, Rogue, he is taking up himself, droning up to 80. So Rogue, he's soon to finish droning, soon to finish saturating. I'm curious to see if he does make any mutas. He has a Spire, he has +1 fire attack on the way, but no muta production yet. Which I do appreciate. Just because Rogue, he does recognize, hold up, you're not being aggressive, right? You're not being aggressive. You're being more turtle heavy and more defensive. So why risk going mutas? Hydrogen is done. Fast mothership out of Zan. Interesting. Very fast mothership. And we'll see if Zan can break out. Meanwhile, Rogue massing up 20 Hydras. It's a lot of Hydras. Looks like he is committing into Lingbane Hydra. Meanwhile, Zan is going into Storm. 4th base is now being taken, and this is the big moment here. Can Zan defend the 4th? Storm is not done. That's gonna be canceled. Oof. So as we just said it, can he defend the 4th base? The answer is no. Not yet. So 4th base is cancelled. That will delay, and Rogue, he's done droning. You can see here he's up to 85 workers. You can see Rogue, he's massing up 50 Zerglings. He's going for a massive push. And remember, what is Rogue's win condition? Break the 4th. Break the 4th expansion. Lings, they come in for a backstab. That is not in hold position. That's scary. Hold position, you're adept, papi, por favor. Hopefully is on hold position now. Hopefully. Second Stargate's on the way, getting ready for Sky Toss. Rogue is now maxed. And here comes Rogue. Oh, his Bathings get spotted. Nice scout by Zan. Now he can mentally prepare to send out some High Templar to Storm or to get ready for any kind of flank. Rogue is giving his opponent some time here, but he's waiting for Hydra speed. He's waiting for the upgrade. And with all these High Templar, with all these Storms, I don't know if Rogue can break Zan anymore. It's gonna be close. Nice catch on the Zealots. Banelings are rolling in, but remember, Zan is prepared. Zan, he's distracted. Oh no! Yeah, Zan's distracted. We're rolling in. Here come the storms. Massive storms. Oh my god, insane storms on the Lings. Deadly Bane gets shut down. And Zan is holding. Zan is holding on again. Very impressive storms. Rogue, he took them to the face. Late Lurker Den. Oof. He's going for the Lurker Den. Tempests are amassing. Now, thankfully for Rogue, he already had the Spire and he already has Spire tech upgrades. That will help when it comes to the Corruptors. And Zan has successfully defended the 4th base, and Zan is now forcing the late game. So this is where momentum is shifting, right? Initially, it was all about, can Zan defend the 4th base? And the answer is yes. Right, Zan, he successfully defends the 4th base. He can now max out on Sky Toss, and now Rogue is on a timer. Rogue, he's on a timer. You can see he's trying to find a better angle of attack. Baits out the stasis traps. Can he surround the High Templar? There's Storm. Yeah, massive catch. That's 3 Templar. Banelings, they roll into the middle and they try. Nice defense. Zan, he defends well. Only losing 2 probes. Tempests are amassing. Tempests were just revealed. And after the next big fight, we should be seeing Corruptors. Should soon be seeing Corruptors. Hydras, they try to get under the Oracle. Banelings, they roll in. They take down site defense. Oh, one of the Tempests. Aha, Clerk. Cloak is activated. Tempest does get away. Banelings, they don't get much done here. 4 probes. And we did see the Lurker Den earlier, but it looks like we're going into Ultras. This is better for diving. This is better for diving into High Templar. Ultras that build the tank, and the goal here is for the Ultras to tank the storms and to get on top of the Templar. To bring them down. And this is where Zhao needs a higher immortal count. So far, Zhao only has 2 immortals. Oh no, the Templar! Yeah, Templar get caught. Nice thing run by, very nice. Catching out some Templar. Cannon's being focused on as well. Zhao out of position. Again, that's 7 Ultralisks. That's a lot of Ultras. And again, it's just a very low immortal count. I don't see this being an answer to the Ultras. Ultras, they will break through. Neurals on the way as well. That will help against Tempest or Immortals even. Against almost anything. We have now 10 Ultralisks. And they're about to be revealed. As Rogue is showing his hand. He's going for a split push. This I'm not too fond of. Just because he's now telling Zhao what to do. He's like, okay, now make Immortals. Okay. As he's only harassing, does pick up an Archon. Rogue, he just revealed his hand. Up until this point, Zhao hadn't seen the Ultra count. And now he's aware. Now he's fully aware. Tempest. The goal here should be we're going to be seeing one big fight, and then the rematch should involve Corruptors, assuming that the ground army goes down. And we're going for it. Yeah, he's going to have to tank the storms. Oh, doesn't commit. Yeah, Rogue, he does not commit. Going for another rotation. Zhao just has to keep up with these rotations. Just keep up. Zhao is building up his bank. Rogue rotates to the left-hand side. He gets spotted by the Observer. Zhao knows. Zhao keeps up. So Rogue has to pull back around. That Ling may have tipped Zhao off. He knows. Zhao rotating back over. Second Spire's on the way. Greater Spire as well. Rogue is still looking for an opening. I would say that Zhao is out of position. He's currently in the center. And Rogue, does he hit the left-hand base? He's going for it. Yeah, he's going for the dive. And does he break down the Nexus? It's going to be close. Yeah, it's going to be close here. The army's responding. Ultra's getting distracted. And it looks like the Planetary will survive. Sorry, the Nexus will survive. As he bleeds out 1, 2, 3 Ultras. 3 Ultralisks go down. That was an expensive run by for Zhao. Sorry, Zhao. Expensive run by for Rogue. Now we're switching into Broodlords. Okay. Sorry, we're switching into Corruptors and eventually Broodlord tech. Not yet. I do appreciate that Rogue is getting out of this, because at this point these Ultras have not paid for themselves and they're not going to. Like the time for Ultras have come and gone. Nice dive on the Tempest. Does attempt to. That's a lot of storms. Ultras they commit. He gets 1 Tempest. Only 1 Tempest. Oh god, once again a very expensive trade for Rogue. And Rogue, he's burning through his bank. He's burning through his bank. Yeah, Zhao he's ahead. Zhao takes a massive lead. Zhao has a better army and Zhao has a massive bank, and after losing that fight, Zhao can now counterattack. And Rogue, he can't stop this. Rogue, he cannot stop this army. You could definitely argue that we could be using more Immortals, for sure. A higher Immortal count would be better here. There's certainly 3 Immortals. But the Tempest army is looking insane. I feel like that was an opportunity for Zan to push through the center and at least take down the center base before backing off. But Zan is playing very scared. He just doesn't want to overextend. God, there's so many Archons. I'll be honest, without Brutal and Infestor, I don't see Rogue dealing with this army anymore. Like Ultra Infestor just does not, it's not ideal, not in this kind of game state. Earlier on, sure, but like now this is a death blow of an army. I still would say that we could do with more Immortals, but outside of that, like it's still looking terrifying. Something that can swing things in Rogue's favor are how he uses the Neurals, for sure. So the one thing to bear in mind, he does have 8 Infestors, so I don't want to underestimate the power of the Neural. Like, Neural does have potential, but that could just be copium. Yeah, here we go. Does feedback. Lands 1, 2, 3, 4 feedbacks. Microwave Shot is helping the Ultras breaking through the Archons, and we mentioned no Immortals. Yeah, not enough Immortals here. The Ultras, they will break through. They break through the Archons, but the Tempest, they pop up. And the Tempest, they will kill everything. There's still a couple of Archons remaining. You can see he's down remax with more Immortals, thankfully. Like, that was the one thing missing here is the Immortal count. He's making 2 Immortals at a time, breaks the expansion. Rogi burns through his bank. And Zan backs off. A very mature decision. He just backs off. He just wins the fight, takes center base, backs off. Backs off, rebuilds. Going for more Zealot run-bys. He does focus fire the expansion, so he will get the hatchery. It's going to be close, actually. It's going to be close. And the hatchery survives. It lives, Bappy. I spoke too soon. Zan gets it. Decent storms. Yeah, nice storm. Slow zone on the Ultras. Ultras, they try to bounce. Immortals are amassing. He pulls back to his side defense. Can he hold on? Can he hold that? Yeah, warping whatever he can. The Immortals, they make a stand. 14 drone kills, 16 drones. It's not wrong by, sorry, the DT counterattack even. 17 drone kills. Critical damage. Remember, Rogue had no bank. He had no bank, and now he has no economy. Rogue, he's broke. He has no money. And again, it felt like Rogue was lost when it came to the late game army composition. Like, I'm shocked that he stayed on as many Ultras as he did without trying to switch into a higher, like, Infestor, Broodlord, Corruptor army. Like, in my mind, we need like Broodlord, Infestor, Corruptor, Viper, Lurker. To be fair, there's a reason why Zerg players avoid this kind of game state, because you do have to construct a very complex army. But Zan is fine. Okay. The one caveat to that is that Zan, he doesn't really have much of a gas bank. But look at the Immortal counts. He's got his Immortals. Again, as we mentioned before, like that was the one thing that was missing for Zan, was he only had 3 Immortals. Now he's up to 7, so a much healthier Immortal count. So now he should have a much more robust army against the Ultras. This is the kind of army that we should have seen earlier, but we got there in the end. We got there. I should also mention that Rogue does have a supermax army. So what does that mean? That means that Rogue, he's on a very low drone count and he's maxed. So his army supply is actually bigger than it usually is. It also means that Rogue is kind of all in. It means that Rogue has one fight in him. Just one big fight. He does not have a bank to sustain anything more than that. Oh, hey, he does catch all these stalkers. Fungal locks him down. Couple of free stalker kills. Rogue will take it. Okay. Now, when it comes to this current army that we've built up, now Rogue does have some blinding clouds available to him, so that will help. The army that Zan has is prone to clumping, so we can try to fungal and blinding cloud and lock down the ground army, and then maybe the ultras can take a better fight against the immortals if they're blinding clouded. And that's gonna be the hope. But that's the dream here for Rogue. If he can fungal and blinding cloud. Otherwise, I don't really see the ultras breaking through. Ooh, Zan is taking one of Rogue's bases. This is dangerous. Zan now he does have a bit of an outpost here, a staging outpost, a staging ground to push in, a launch pad, if you will. True. To be aggressive. Nice thing run by. He does bob, he does weave. Does find all these cannons going for the Artosis pylon. Uh oh. Oh, nice catch. Very nice snipe. 3 feedbacks. Lings are being annoying. Because Zan is max, he cannot defensively warp in. So no defensive warp ins. So a very messy defense. There we go, warps in 2 DTs. Broodlords are more... Okay, so it took a while, but Rogue, he's now perfecting his army. I mentioned earlier that, like, I was expecting Broodlord, Infestor, Viper, Corruptor, or Lurker, and we're almost there. There are no Lurkers, of course. Instead of Lurker, it's Ultra, but... Again, it takes a lot to control this army. Meanwhile, this base will go down. And Zan now has a direct path to the natural. And to the main. So very nice pickoff. But I didn't think we'd get here. Obviously, Zan still has the advantage just because Zan has the greater economy and the larger bank. You can see he's down throwing away probes to free up supply. Moves them away. Things they're getting value. Zan is pushing. Just clearing up creep. Again, Zan has no rush. I should also emphasize that there's no rush for Zan. There's nothing pressuring him. Zan has more bases. Zan has a greater economy. There's no pressure on Zan. So the correct thing to do is just to play it safe. Like if you're wanting Zan to like be more aggressive, like that would there's no need to. Like the correct thing to do is just play it safe. Just rotate back and forth, deny creep, pick up some key units here and there. Make sure you have the best angle possible. He gets a free Broodlord. Gets 2 free Broodlords. Never commit. And now he dives. Does end one of the fungals. Blinding Cloud is not available. Mass Storms. Oh my god, the Ultras are getting choked up. Yeah, they're getting choked up. Storm of the Corruptors. Ultras, they do break through. We had some Immortals that weren't a part of the fight. Yeah, nice microbo shroud. The ultras looks like they will overwhelm. Just barely they clean everything up. He cleans up. Shout out to the microbo shrouds. And Zani plummets in supply. He will lose everything here. Oh, we have the Stalker Remax. Interesting. But there's still too many ultras. Again, it was just a really awkward fight for Zaun. If you saw Zaun, he had, I want to say, was it 4 Immortals that just weren't fighting? He had like 4 Immortals that were on the left-hand side that just were not engaging. It's just a really awkward engage there from Zaun. Where Immortals just were not a factor. And also Microbo Shroud. It worked well. Microbo Shroud, it sustained the ultras. Oh, but this is scary. So Rogue, he won that fight. If he doesn't counterattack soon, Zaun is just going to rebuild. Like, remember, Zaun has a better economy. He's got the better economy. Snipes 1, snipes 2 more Broodlords. Like, Rogue, we got to go soon. And he's stuck defending. He's stuck defending here. This is all just causing a massive distraction. It's allowing Zaun to rebuild his army. And GG. Yep, GG gets called. That's all that Rogue had. And Zaun, he will tie the series. We're going to the ace match. Ooh, GG. GG, well played. As we mentioned, Rogue just had nothing else behind it. We were trying to emphasize that he was quote-unquote all in. Just had one fight. One fight is all that Rogue had, as he was down in bases, down in economy, down in workers, and he could not actually sustain any further game from there. GG. GG, well played. We're getting into the ace match. We're going to be loading into 10,000 feet. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into 10,000 feet here. We're loading into the ace match, and this can go either way. This is going to be a smaller map of the map pool, and once again, we should be seeing Rogue avoid the late game. From what we saw, from what I can see, like, it feels like Rogue is very uncomfortable in the late game. His compositions were lacking, and he was sticking with certain compositions for too long. When it comes to like the Mass Ultra, for example, was stuck with that too long. Took him a long time to switch into Broodlords. Took him a long time to actually build up an economy as well. Rogue was very much so a little bit more aggressive, but stuck in a longer game, and everything just kind of fell apart. But here we go. We're getting into our ace match here. And I'm sure Rogue is trying to think to himself, like, what build to go for, how to approach this. So far, it's been the same thing 2 games in a row. Zaun went 6k Blink, and Rogue went plus on melee into Ling Muta. I'm hoping that we see something different here, but we'll see. Let's go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the blue Protoss. For onside, it is Zaun. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his red Zerg player. The red Zerg player himself, it is Rogue. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into the ace match. We're getting into the final game of the series. Oh, and Zaun moves out to Pylon Block. He wants to try to force the unnatural natural out of Rogue. Cheeky moves here by Zaun. Oh. Ooh, is he able to delay? He is. So there we go. Zaun, he will be able to force the unnatural natural. And welcome to 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet is a smaller map, less bases, less expansions, shorter rush distance by ground, but a very secure 4-base setup here. So defending on 4 bases is easier on 10,000 feet. If you remember, the last time these two played on this map, Rogue went for a proxy hatchery. Not this time. Remember last time, Rogue went for a proxy hatchery into an attempted Ling Flood and Ling Rush and Ling All In. Then we forced a longer game. Zaun had a very shaky mid-game, and Rogue was able to overwhelm eventually and pull Zaun apart. But a big reason for that is because Zaun went for the triangular third. This time he should not, right? This time he should be able to take the forward 3rd base and then the linear 4th, and then have a very safe 4-base setup. That should be the setup here from Zaun. Last time he played on this map, he was forced to take the triangular 3rd, and he was spread out. He was spread out, he was pulled apart. But let's go. Here we go. We have Rogue going into Link Speed, it pulls out of gas. Just a standard opener. Nothing crazy, like where Stargate is down. Now, twice now this series, we've seen Zaun go 6-gate blink, 6-gate blink into a third base, late forge, late +1. Last game, of course, as Zaun, he decided to not warp in Stalkers and be very tech heavy and rush into the mid game, if you recall, and try to get there and try to stabilize. And he was able to in the end. We'll see if he does something similar here. I do think that there is reason, though, to go 6-gate blink this time, just because there's a very high chance that Rogue goes for an all-in this game. And it's just a very safe way to play. Now, because Rogue knows that Zaun has been going 6-gate blink every game, then that's when mind games come into play, and maybe Rogue doesn't go for the all-in, and maybe Zaun cuts corners instead. Now, mind games. Zaun does breakouts. The Oracle does move out. So that's back at home. From here, Zaun should be expanding. You can see that Rogue is in a position to delay. Nice delay, Rogue. You want to see that? Can he get it? He can. Gets one, gets the other as well. Very nice. Suit-ups go down. Massive pickup. Going for the probe. Oh, never mind. A little bit greedy. Yeah, a little bit greedy there from Rogue, but I believe he should still get the probe kill. And he does not. Still two adepts. Two adepts, delays the third base. Nice pickoffs. Meanwhile, early Twilight Council out of Zaun. It looks like the same build. It looks like 6-gate blink. Meanwhile, Rogue, once again, early Eva Chamber and a +1 melee. Should be into Ling Hydra, but so far, this series has been very samey. Every game so far, it's been 6-gate blink out of Zaun. Every game so far, it's been +1 melee into Lings, into Ling Muta. Or into Spire. Last game, Rogue made the Spire, but he did not actually make any mutas. True. So we'll see what Rogue goes for. He does scout the gateways. He does confirm that there's no forge. And the same build. There's the gateway explosion. Oh, hold on. Wait, what? That's an extra gateway. This is not 6-gate blink. This is getting up to 7 gateways, and it looks like Zaun, he may just go for an 8-gate 3-base all-in. As that is 7 gates, we're expecting 1 more gateway. Now, the extra gateway that we see is either going to be back at home or proxy. But this is much more aggressive. This is much more committed. Thankfully, Rogue is getting a safety Roach Horn. I was going to say that if he skips his Roach Horn, he's going to be in trouble. But he's going for the Roach Horn. We're waiting for 1 extra gateway. Here come the Warpins. And does he send a probe across? He does. There's a probe. Yeah, there's a probe for the proxy. Oh no, he gets caught. Massive pickup. The proxy is delayed. That was supposed to be for a proxy pylon. As Zaun is all in. He's pushing. Again, Zaun is here to end the game. He's trying to. Stasis trap does go. Oh my god, a massive stasis. They're catching out the Lings, catching out the Queens. We have more Lings coming for the surround. The Oracles, they do activate, but alas, the Lings, they do surround. They do collapse on the Stalkers. We have reinforcements coming in. It's close, and again, reinforcements are late. Late Warpins, late reinforcements for the Lings. They go down, and Zaun is breaking through. Can he do it? Can he do it? The stasis trap, it runs out. Roaches are amassing. And again, this is hitting later than it should because of that, because of lack of proxy. There it is. You can see the 8th gateway in the center. It is an 8-gate 3-base all-in. But remember, this is late. Late Warpins, late gateway. Despite that, Ravage is being focused down. Gets 1. Rogue scrambling for a defense. Stalkers are blinking back. Stasis trap does not go off. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for Rogue. That hatchery's under fire. Rogue going for the counterattack. The wall's open. The wall's open. Hits the third. Does hit the third base. Gets into the middle line. Probe's going to be going down. And Zhao now has no longevity in this game. Oracle's forced to turn around. That's going to be 10 probes falling. Did I say 10? Getting up to 12. So Zhao, he has no economy. He has no reinforcements. He has limited warp-ins. And it looks like Rogue he's doing it. Yeah, Rogue, he's doing it. He's pulling it off. He's surviving. He's counterattacking. Zhao is forced to engage, pushing into a concave. Again, Zhao just does not have enough. Oof. Yeah, losing Jimmy Stalkers. He's losing too much. Zhao being overwhelmed. Oh, nice stasis though. Okay. Nice stasis trap. Zhao, he can still pull this off. He needs those Ravagers though. He needs them. Gets one. Gets one Ravager. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Zanu's been trying to rebuild his mineral line. Baliness? Okay. Interesting. Oh, Oracle, they do find a mineral line. Not bad. Does a nice mining. Very nice catch here with the Oracles. Lings, they get caught counterattacking. But the proxy gateway goes down. Yeah, Zhao down to 7 gates. Zhao even supply blocked. Oof. Yeah, big supply block here. Zhao, he's in trouble. Remember, this had to win the game. This had to kill. Things like catch reinforcements, nice catch. At the same time, the slow drop into the main. Let's go. Going for the slow drop. We have a Spire on the way because why not? Just to make a handful of mutas to harass. Drop is spotted. But still, I mean, not a bad trade here for the Lings. Nice lane control. Or of course they run into a Spore this time. There's a lot of Stalkers. But again, it's only Stalker. Now, going to mutas here is risky. Going to Hydras would have been a very secure way to just win this game. To keep up with the Stalkers. Mutas is just risky. It has potential to harass, that's true, but it won't really help head on. It won't help with the main fight. Rogue is maxed. 10 mutas on the way. Doesn't bait out the stasis. Barely not. Bowser try to zone. Zhao claiming 4th base behind us. Now it's taking up. We have +1 on the way. We have charge on the way. Robo as well. Again, very late tech, very late upgrades. Everything is late here for Zhao. And we'll see what the mutas get done. They make their way across the map. Again, still not convinced by this, but at least it will buy time and deal economic damage. Yeah, there's nothing to defend in the main. Forces the recall. It does force the recall. And I was going for the 4th. And Verki breaks out. Mutas they do pivot back around. Pivot back, Banelings are rolling in, nice stasis. Yeah, stasis goes off, Banelings ahead for the main army. Going for the Colossus. Nice time for one of the Oracles. Rogue is still just rallying in. Oof. Yeah, Biles takes zone away. Bailey's gets smashed into the army. The Colossus barely standing. Can he bring down the expansion? He's trying to. Still holding on to the Biles. And base goes down, takes down the 4th base. Rogue is down. He just cannot maintain himself. He cannot keep up. Not like this. And Rogue has done it. Rogue has broken down. Again, winding this all back. This all just came down to the failed all-in. Zana went for a big 3-base 8K all-in, but he was so delayed. Imagine a world where he didn't lose the probe. If he didn't lose that worker across the map, if he got a faster proxy, faster warp-ins, faster reinforcements, more aggression, that could have been enough. That could have been enough. It would have been a stronger all-in for sure. But again, it was all just delayed. And now the final push. And the final move out. So we're getting into the Colossus. Mutants are coming from behind. Colossus, they should not escape. And they won't. They won't get away. The heavy losses if it's down. GG gets called, and Rogue, he will claim the series 2-1, and Rogue will be the final player to qualify for the semifinals. GG. GG, well played. Rogue, he will claim the series again. Down with a very aggressive build here, going for the 8-gate all 3-base all-in. And again, Rogue was able to delay. Was able to delay the all-in, shut him down, was able to collapse on the initial pylon, sorry, on the initial probe, attempted to throw in the proxy pylon and was delayed. With that, he was able to counterattack as well. A very nice thing counterattack where he was able to cripple the economy and slow down Zaun's warp-ins. And down with that, he did petered out. GG, well played. With that, congratulations. Rogue will advance on. We have one Zerg player in the semis. GG, well played. It's going to be Rogue alongside Hero, Cure, and Maru. GG, well played. We also have confirmation that it's going to be Rogue versus Hero in the semis. It's going to be Rogue versus Hero and Cure versus Maru. Winners interview.
Well, Rogue, congratulations on your victory. Today was a marathon day. You played 2 series versus ByuN, and your first opponent in the semifinals is going to be Hero. How do you feel about your ZVP? Do you think you can take Hero down?
일단 이병현 선수 진출 축하드리고요. 정말 오늘 되게 긴 시간 그 경기하셨는데 박한솔 선수와의 또 푸저전.
I'll be honest, this question that State is asking is basically Tasis' question. Like Tasis is going to ask him, hey, what are your goals for the tournament, for the playoffs? But State is asking about the playoffs.
솔직히 제가 자신이 많이 없는데.
So I don't know if State realized what he just did, but he just took Tasis' question. Like, what's Tasis? Is he just going to ask the same question again? Rogue is going to be like, I'm going to practice hard for my ZVP for my upcoming match. And then Tasis is going to be like, what are your goals for your series against Hero?
한 주사위 1, 2 정도 뛸 수 있게 잘해야 될 것 같아요.
Yeah, my overall confidence is actually very low in ZVP. So that being said, Zaun is actually a very good player in the late game. So but I thought that he's very vulnerable in the early game. So I try to expose that vulnerability as much as possible. And about Hero, I mean, he's such a good player. And if he's on his best form, that I don't think I have any chance of beating him. So I'll have to wish that his dice maybe just goes 1 and 2.
You've played incredibly today and through this whole season. Do you think it's possible that you can win this season of GSL?
그럼에도 불구하고.
So Rogue just said, I think I have a really low chance in the semifinals. Like, Hero needs to be in bad form for me to win. And then Tasis is like, so do you think you can win the tournament? So Tasis basically asked the same question in a different way. Okay.
Yeah, I think my overall confidence in ZVT is actually much better than ZVP. So if I can beat Hero and head to the finals, then yeah, I think I have a decent chance.
Thank you for the interview and best of luck in the rest of the tournament.
God damn it.
감사합니다.
Again, like that's on State though. Like State, he's got to recognize, like, he has to avoid questions that are targeting the next round because Tasis is gonna ask that question anyway. Like, doesn't matter. Like It's not going to stop Tasers from asking the same question, but yeah. So regardless, with that, GG will play. Congratulations to Rogue. As Rogue, he does claim the series over Zaun. He will advance on, and here we have our semis confirmed. We have Hero versus Rogue and Maru versus Cure in the upcoming semi-finals. Here we go. Oh boy, coming into this, honestly, I look forward to the TBT. If you remember, Cure, he has a winning record over Maru in TBT. He is favored against Maru, I would say. Maru even alluded to that as well in his previous winners interview. So I'm excited to see how Maru comes in prepared for that matchup versus Cure. Otherwise, Cure may be able to make it to the finals. We'll see. We shall see. We'll discuss that during the final day, of course. As again, we have our top 4 players confirmed, and that is going to be on the 7th of June. And if you're out there, if you happen to be in Korea or happen to be traveling to Korea, then do consider getting your tickets and going to the offline events. As you can see here, ticket sales is going to be open on the 1st of June. That's going to be in a couple of days over the weekend, so make sure that you do gain your tickets while you can. I believe last season it was booked out, so you gotta get your tickets while you can, papi. Yeah. Korean fans are there, papi. They are there. Otherwise, if you want to support the GSL, if you want to support them, you can do so via Patreon, patreon.com/GSL, and you'll be able to support the event and look to fund Season 3. Again, we're still a ways away here. We are just under $8,000 raised out of a total $10K for Season 3. Hopefully, we can get there. Otherwise, we'll make sure that Season 2 is a season to remember. True, papi, true. Let's go. Let us go. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We can see here the schedule for the upcoming week of StarCraft. We have the Maestros of the Game group stage throughout the course of the week. We have GSL Season 2 Finals on the 7th. We have the RSL over the weekend, of course. We're going to be co-streaming that on Saturday and Sunday, and we have tickets open on the 1st of June. So plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft is on the horizon. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. It was a long cast today. Long cast, 4.5 hours. I'm going to be getting some rest. When it comes to our schedule, you can see it before you. Bam. Those are the patron pledges, of course. But you can see our schedule. We just wrapped up with our Thursday evening broadcast. Tomorrow morning, in around 10 hours time, we're going to be live with the Code for Giants Cup. That is a Brazilian-only tournament, so just bear that in mind. We're going to be live with Code for Giants Cup. Likewise, over the weekend, we have the RSL finals, the RSL Season 5 finals, and also the GSL rebroadcast on YouTube. So bear that in mind. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft on the CranKy Ducklings. We'll see you guys in 10 hours for COVID Giants Cup. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate all of the support, and do consider following us here on Soup. Again, we're going to be live here on Soup when it comes to upcoming tournament days, with all the content, with all the StarCraft. Of course, we are becoming more and more active on Soup as a platform. So you can follow us here if you wish. Otherwise, follow us on the other platforms as well for VOD content. So again, we upload to YouTube on a daily basis. We have all those VODs over on YouTube. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and do support the GSL. Do support. Just like these guys here. True. Bam. The supporters. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you guys in 10 hours for Code for Giants Cup. We'll see you over the weekend for some RSL action. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. GG.
Incoming transmission.